This is 6:08, same morning, Sunday, November the 9th. Okay, the first video I was like laying like on my chin, so that's why my voice was distorted. I said, well, I'm gonna get back on here and do another video, and this is gonna be that. The video that I just recently made, I titled it Splitting of Consciousness. Because that's what's happening. It's happening within me first. And I also seeing it, within, you know, society. Either you're gonna lean to love or you're gonna lean to hate. You're gonna lean to manipulation or you're gonna lean towards truth. And the only way you can know truth is you give truth to yourself. This is a very, very liberating thing, and that can be a very frightening thing. Because once you realize that you've been the cause of all your struggle and your pain, your setbacks, your confusions, you've just been the cause, period. That is a very terrifying realization for most. This is why I'm always talking to myself, because I see things that I can't explain to most, because one thing I notice is that people think they really know how this structure is when it comes to society and their thoughts and their decision making. Everybody already knows. And so if a person think they knows, it's very, very, how can I say, slim for a person to want to listen to understand, because they will always feel like they know. And me, I've been studying different subjects for years. And I can say that I have been a victim to my own mind. And some of the times I was aware of what was happening, and I would still go into things because I think subconsciously that's the only way I felt like I could really learn something. Not to just assume it, but to really put myself in a position to know, like I say to myself, I know how this is going to turn out, but I'm going to go in a way to see if it turns out that way, like I said. And I wouldn't go in a situation hoping for the worst. I would go in a situation, looking for the best. And then the total opposite would happen, because my mindset and the other mindset is wired differently. So if I'm going in a situation looking for the best, and the other person is going in looking at things from the past, or looking at things from how they can better manipulate a situation, that's already going to be a, destructive environment or a destructive situation, because there will not be any understanding in that space. It will only be deceptions. I look at things from both ends, of a situation, not just my way. I try to see things the other. I don't try, but I see things the other person's way as well, because I was once them. This is why I talk about everybody as you pushed out, the mirror effect, the observer effect. If I was once somebody, or I just realized that I have allowed myself to still be in that mindset, but I awakened myself because I realized that I was doing things that I said that I wouldn't want to experience, but I became the main source of experiencing those things. But when I realized it, I'm like, oh gosh, I became the thing that I said that I didn't want to interact with or participate with or allow to be caught up in their space or their world or their mindset. So this is what I'm talking about when I say that I can see. I see me first, therefore I see others. And most will understand what I'm saying due to the language that I'm, utilizing at that moment in time. It's like, can you talk English or can you talk, dumb it down so I can understand what you're saying? I mean, when I speak, I don't be trying to be all intellectual. I present things to people as, simple as possible. And I say, I know a lot of times that's why a lot of people don't, well, I ain't going to talk about that, but I asked myself one day when I was at work, I said, that's the thing. It's so much that I know people don't know about, and I do not use that against nobody. I don't try to manipulate nobody with the things that I know. I try to enlighten people with the things that I know. But everybody don't want to be enlightened. Everybody don't want to be enlightened. They just want to stay in. I can't say what they want to do, but the reason why I say they would want to stay is because if you don't want understanding, then all what's gonna happen is you're gonna do the same thing. So that's why I always say that people don't want understanding. They want control, and they want the exceptions to be the energy that changes things for them instead of letting the flow change things for them. And what I mean by the flow is that everything has its natural flow, meaning whatever something is, when you don't resist it, it's going to reveal everything to you. You don't have to fight it. You don't have to judge it. You don't have to do nothing but observe. And it will be presented to you, whatever is going on behind the scene or within lies or within even within words that are not spoken that can reveal the truth. If a person is wired or if a person has understood themselves when they're lying, when they're trying to be deceptive or when they're trying to manipulate others, that's how the next person is is able to see it within, you know, other people. But what I wanted to say was the split of consciousness. It's gonna be a lot of people who just show up in love and support and then, gratitude that will be a safe space for a lot of people. And then there's gonna be people who show up in manipulation and lies and fear and control. They people who just want to control the situation. Like I was just talking about, it's not about control. It's about the flow. So that's the splitting of consciousness that I'm talking about when it comes to a lot of people not being aware of what's happening within their own minds and within society. And due to how they interpret things, that's how things are going to show up. That's why I say that every day I have to touch bases with myself because I know that I can slip through the cracks of me being unconscious and I start to think from that process or to think or to feel from that process. Why am I calling it a process? I don't know. But I start to think and feel from that state of mind, which is a process. Because that when you start to have certain thoughts or emotions, you begin to respond or act from those emotions and those thoughts. And that's the process. It's like, okay, it's gonna be a collective of thoughts just spiraling from those prior thoughts that you had. And I'm answering my own question to the prior video that I just made too. I like getting, understanding when it comes to my mind, because I know it can trick me so much to the point that I start to believe what my mind is telling me instead of knowing how the mind operates. And I know how it operates. You can think it's you, but it ain't you. It's just doing what it's been trying to do, even when you don't want it to do it no more. Your mind can be your worst nightmare, your worst enemy, or it can be your best friend or your greatest moments because of how you trained your mind. And most don't know this. People do believe really that they are their thoughts and that they are their emotions, but it's not that way. You can choose. You can choose what you're going to allow yourself to observe, inner and outer, meaning in your own mind, in your own heart, and within what the next person is trying to, you know, inflict on you or impose on you for you to believe as your perception when it comes to your reality. A lot of time when I say this, people like, "You right. So why are you telling me this? Why are you, you know, why are you believing that your way is the only way that can be the correct way?" Because I'm not saying that my way is the correct way. All I'm saying is that I'm observing something that I'm aware of that I try to get other people to see. This is a slippery slope when it comes to me trying to get other people to see things that I am aware of, because it can be distorted due to their perception. And their perception is coming from how their minds are wired to interpret things, not from how things truly are. And I look at things from how things truly are, not what I want them to be. I can want things to be a certain way all day long, but if I deny what is before me, then I will entrap myself in a space in my own mind